Now you realize that per certain cultural and social context, some harmful behaviors are normalized. What makes it sometimes difficult or makes it quite sensitive to talk about is that in probably the context, there's that social or cultural context, either family or religion, or because of gender roles that have been defined in certain families or certain cultures or in certain societies, some harmful behaviors are normalized. In fact, some of them are romanticized. So you may find that there are certain behaviors that you know are harmful, but you go and anybody within that social circle or cultural context would that does not see anything wrong with it, okay, would either just brush it off, push it aside, or define it a certain way, explain it away some way, somehow, right? And some of those things, even though are easily dismissed and overlooked, can have deep emotional repercussions or psychological impact on you, on individuals, okay? So you can have your peace, your self-worth and all that eroded, but everybody around is seeing it as normal. Okay, so for instance, in certain cultures, constant control is actually explained as care, love, or protectiveness. He's doing this because he cares for you so much. He is stopping you from relating with people because he loves you. All right. And that is what it is. When a man loves you, he's like, he wants to have his territory defined and all that. That is why. And so because of that, everybody is somehow okay with it. What you should appreciate about this is that true care empowers, doesn't limit and confine. When it is limiting, it's limiting for the right reasons, but not limiting so that they can have absolute control. So true care and love does not want to have absolute control. They control what needs to be controlled, and they allow freedom and liberty for the other to explore, to also be. So if there is constant control to limit you to, and it's being defined as love and care and protectiveness, I'm afraid that is not it. But what we are saying is society or probably whatever culture you find yourself in could define it as that. There are also what emotional manipulations being described as sacrifice. I think I have experienced some fathers do it too, manipulating their children. Yes, we know little children want to manipulate, but as a parent, you should know how to handle that. But the issue comes a lot when it's now parent to child. So the parents would want to emotionally manipulate their their children, and they call it sacrifice. I've sacrificed this for you, I sacrificed that for you, and so you cannot, probably I sold all my clothes to take care of you, so you can't be with this person, you can't do this, you can't do that. And yes, your parents may know, have certain wisdom that you don't have. So it's not to say they cannot guide you, but where it's just absolute control, you cannot think a certain way, you cannot feel a certain way, you cannot do anything by yourself, you don't have the liberty to have your own emotions, to express yourself, because I have sacrificed for you. That is manipulation. And a lot of times, because self-sacrifice is praised, we use it. I know mothers who do that a lot, and hey, if you are a mother and you are just self-sacrificing out of place, expecting that other people or your children, your husband or whoever should do that for you, you are just stealing from yourself. And don't blame anybody for whatever they do at the end of the day. Listen, live for you and be a blessing to the people around you. Live for you and beyond you. Don't just live. If I say live for you, I'm not talking about being selfish or self-centered, but know that you can only give your best if you are filled constantly. You are investing in yourself, then you can constantly give. So love in itself does not become deprived or does not deprive itself of health, of life, of joy, and then is taking it out on others and is dragging that from others, so that I was not happy, I couldn't live my best life, and so the people around me shouldn't live their best life. That is not love. That is not care. That is manipulation. I sacrificed for you. So when I call you, whether you're at work or whatever, you should come because I took care of you. So you cannot go a day without coming by. It doesn't matter what the circumstances. That is manipulation. And so please, if you are doing that, expecting that that is what should come back to you, you are just putting yourself in a very bad situation. So rise up. Healthy love would always support growth. It doesn't demand emotional depth. Somebody should always be emotionally drained because you did something for the person. That is never love, and that is not part of a healthy relationship. You could also have certain social context where feelings are dismissed and described as in place of peace and harmony. So when you dismiss your feelings so that everybody around you is okay with it, and then you are defined as a very harmonious and peaceful person. And hey, you may be killing yourself, or one may be killing the other in silence. Silence is actually held up as what it should be. So if you are quiet, swallowing everything, every pill that comes, anything that comes from anybody in a relationship, then you are seen to be a very peaceful person. And sometimes we all want to have certain kinds of definition. So we end up living in it. And then because of the definition or the flag we are given, we are very, on the label it gives us, we are comfortable, even if it is destroying us or hurting us. So look out for that. Now understand that mutual respect involves emotional safety and validation. And so if your feelings and whatever it is that you're experiencing is silenced, or you need to silence it to be accepted, to be seen as a good person, then you should appreciate that whoever is doing that to you is just manipulating, just to have their way. So you don't always have to be quiet. We only say that however you need to express it should be constructive. We also have where, because of public praise, we endure pains, unnecessary pain. Now you realize that appearances, your relationship appears to be very good, very harmonious, because society is obsessed with appearances. So everything should appear perfect and great, whether it is biting you or eroding your very worth, whatever it is doing to you, as long as it appears perfect and good, it will be praised. And so some of us, we just want to endure whatever abuse, whatever it is, because society is expecting us to have perfect relationships. So we want to present it that way. So inside, we are being damaged, we are crashing, we are being destroyed, but we are just okay. So we pretend to be okay when we are actually not okay. But true love is authentic, and it exhibits health both in private and in public. So if it is privately toxic and publicly healthy, it actually is not healthy. Okay, it is just eroding who you actually are. You can also have financial control hidden as responsibility. In the patriarchal cultures where men are seen to be the ones to handle money, or that is how leadership should be, where the other person, or maybe in marriage, in relationship, whatever it is that comes to the lady, everything has to be swept off. It has to be for the man. The man has to decide, and he has to be in charge of everything, no matter how harmful it is to the other person. Some society, I mean, we have advanced a lot, but you still find these things happening. in a lot of places, in a lot of lives. All right. So it will be praised as, yeah, that is how it should be. But true partnership, love, relationship would involve what? Shared decision taking, and would look out for the well-being of both parties or people, partners within the relationship. Okay, so it's not to say if the man is handling all the money, it's wrong. But is he doing it or keeping that just to control, have total and absolute control, and so that the other person can be at their mercy? Then that is questionable. Society may applaud it, or some people may applaud it, some cultures may applaud it, but it's not healthy. It is not healthy. If it's only for absolute control, it is not healthy. A lot of times we have seen some people lose their lives because society, especially in cultures and in some religious organizations or religious places, some societies, some families, you should stay there because of your children at the expense of your life, the well-being of the children, because of the reputation of family or the religion you belong to. Your life is sacrificed. Listen, there are relationships that have stayed together that have damaged the children and people around them more than if they had separated. So sometimes the health of the people you care about would actually be protected if you separated than if you stay together. So if you're just staying there to protect either family reputation, your own reputation, or your religious reputation, and it is costing your very life. Hey, society has said it, but you need to sit down and look out for the truth in it and the wisdom in it, and leave out for what is wise, not just what everybody thinks or is saying. And then finally, the we are still talking about patterns often ignored by culture and society, okay, or described as or seen as romantic or just pushed aside or redefined. So we also have certain cultures, certain societies, some dreams, some goals are for a particular gender or a particular group of people. Okay, so in a relationship or wherever you find yourself, you cannot do certain things. You, if it's even a potential in you that you can explore and it's part of what you need to give to your world, you are actually not allowed to pursue it because either you belong to this particular gender and this is for men and you're a woman. Okay, so one of my wonderful persons said, hey, when she was young, I think she wanted to be an architect, and she was told this is it, it looked like this is for men, this is for boys. Okay, so you can't do this because it is for girls, you can't do this because it's for boys, when it's actually a part of you, and you giving that to your world will be giving your world your light. You are actually made to belittle it. But love shares vision, okay, and doesn't belittle or compete with another's potential, doesn't seek to destroy or put down or dim another's light. So it's true, we find ourselves in cultures, in societies, in places that are saying or defining things in certain ways. But you see, you are here to live your life, and what you have to do is to live your life. So yes, it's not to throw away all uh, everything society has said or all the standards, but to critically evaluate, assess to be sure whether it holds truth for you or not, whether it is constructive enough or it's only limiting your potential. If it's going to limit your potential, dim the light that you are here to shine, then hey, question it and put it where it has to be and move on with the life you need to live.